Larry Summers, a top economic advisor to former President Obama, blasted the 1.9 trillion COVID stimulus package signed by President Biden earlier this month as the least responsible economic policy in 40 years. Speaking on Bloomberg Television's Wall Street View on Friday, Summers outlined his predictions for the economy in light of the relief package. I think this is the least responsible macroeconomic policy we've had in the last 40 years, Summers said. I think fundamentally it's driven by intransigence on the Democratic left and he learned a word when somebody has to reuse the same word twice in less than a sentence. It's usually something they picked up the day before. And completely unreasonable behavior on the whole of the Republican Party, he continued. Summers warned that there was a one-third chance that inflation would accelerate over the next several years, with the U.S. possibly facing stagnation or economic stagnation. Stagflation, rather, or economic stagnation. Summers also warned that the U.S. wouldn't see inflation because the Federal Reserve would hit the brakes to stabilize in the markets and sinking the economy close to recession. Kind of sounds like what we have already. There are more risks in this moment than that macroeconomic policy itself will cause grave consequences than I can remember. Summers said, there have been terribly serious moments in the past, but these macroeconomic policy was trying to stabilize things. Now there's the real risk that macroeconomic policy will be very much destabilizing things. Summers, who served as Treasury Secretary under former President Clinton, was one of the few left-leaning economists that has been critical of the 1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. So if this were a Republican commentator, right, I would pay it no mind whatsoever, this story, because that's what they do. They allow someone who's part of their party, whether that was Bush or Trump or Reagan, if we're going to go further back, to get away with policies that inflate the deficits. And then when a Democrat gets in office and they want to spend some money, oh my God, how could they do this? They're destroying the economy. But because this is a theoretical member of the, of Biden's team as far as his ideology, saying this is bad, and not just bad, but the worst one in 40 years in terms of, not being responsible. That is a significant comment, and it is something that should be, if not agreed with, because I still don't trust that idea that he's putting out there. We saw Trump put out, or rather, uh, the previous administration signed billions of dollars of funds for war every year, which Obama did as well. And when I see that being spent repeatedly, and the only people that are really getting upset being, individuals like Rand Paul, Bernie Sanders, Mike Lee, I'm not entirely convinced that this is such an egregious thing that Biden's doing here. And as someone who's been a critic of him since before this last presidential primary, I think it is a significant comment for me to say that. But it's really interesting that in being someone who opposes Biden normally, I'm forced to defend him when a person who's supposed to be on the side of the left is saying something that I think is theatrics. Like if we can go and find previous comments from Summers where he's being consistent about the need to not raise the deficit and spend trillions and hundreds of billions of dollars on various things, I would say, okay, well, that makes sense. But as far as it looks, it's just someone trying to get some attention off of a policy that happened in the past by saying something really radical and not based in reality. Because again, every single year, billions of dollars just go out to all kind of different stuff and nobody cares. But oh my God, you want to do a program that's going to help people? Bleh.